nalaba ekitiibwa kya Katonda nga mmaze okuva mu mmotoka ngudde wansi neekulula neva mu maaso nenzira emabega nga Khalid mugamba abasajja baabo bakomawo. Keep engaging them kuba ye yalina emmundu ennene. Nendaba ekitiibwa kya Katonda because he was able to save us. So those are two things which I wanted to talk about on that day. Khalid Yono, this is the boy. I've been with him for some time. And he's the one who worked hard. For him, kyali afuba nnyo okulaba nti omulimu gwe ogwa bodyguard agutuukiriza omuntu gwe baamuwa okuuma amujja ku scene of crime as fast as possible. And he did it. Thank you, Khalid. You can go back. Kakati bannange ekiseera kino njagala nawe wooli ng'oli muzadde ofumintirize ekiseera kye tulimu. Ekiseera kino muwaso omukyala maama we akyali mu mmokyale kati abadde mukwano gwe nnyo naye ate abadde mukwano gwaffe ffenna newankubadde nze mbadde muko eri n'oli yali yafuuka maama waffe fe abaawase eno mu bamukasa ng'eri tulinga baana ng'alinga maama waffe yafa nga bamuddusa omutwala mu ddwaliro. Brenda yeebase wano abadde mukwano gwe nnyo gwayinza okubuulira ekyama n'oli gwasobola okubuulira ki ekyama. Naye njagala okuba akafaananyi. Maama we ali mu mokyale, omwana we tugenda mumutereka. Kiseera kizibu nnyo n'ebyogerwa biba biki bizibu. It's very hard to talk about my child. Olwaleero nabadde nsazeewo nti I'm not going to give the terrorist a lot of attention. Let me talk about Brenda, the child, the girl whom we lost. Maybe we have given the terrorists a lot of time and they're enjoying it. But let me say this on that day. Nalaba ebintu bibiri. Brenda yabamala omukuba amasasi ndowooza lyali ssasi lyakusatu oba lyakuna eryamusula wansi n'angwako bw'ati. We yakabira Jesus alyoka angweko. Nga nange olwo agawano gamaze okunkuba omukono guli shattered. Guno ogwa left gwo gwali shattered nga tegukya gulebera bwe guti. Nga ndaba driver wange omugenzi Kayondo ng'akyali ku steering naye ng'agezaako to say how to drive away. Ne bamukuba essasi eddala n'agwa bw'ati. Nendaba ekintu ekyasooka kye nasooka okulaba, how heartless people can be. That's what I saw. Situation eno nga nti abantu nga balina ettima. Era neetondera Mukama Katonda kubanga kye nasooka okwogera nagamba nti Mukama Katonda nga njagadde nnyo abantu lwaki abantu tebanjagala. I think I was wrong and I'm sorry because people love me. People have loved us. Abantu batulaze okwagala. So the bad guys are there, but the majority of people are good people. And God's people are good people. Those terrible guys are a few in this world. And they will be isolated. I thank the CDF for that message and for that assurance. Much as I was hurt, we shall fight. We shall fight on. They have touched the nerves. We shall fight on. The second thing I saw, and what came to my mind, nga mmaze okuva mu mmotoka ngudde wansi nga neekulula n'omukono ogwo ogumenyese nga ngamba omwana escort wange. I don't know whether Khalid is here. nga ngamba Khalid nti vaayo gujjayo emundu eyo tukuba abasajja. I saw and I recall that God is great. And I saw the love of God. Because I couldn't understand why, if you have seen that car, that vehicle, how we could survive, how I could survive with my escort in that car. That's God's grace. Nalaba ekitiibwa kya Katonda nga mmaze okuva mu mmotoka ngudde wansi neekulula neva mu maaso nenzira emabega nga Khalid mugamba abasajja baabo bakomawo, keep engaging them kuba ye yalina emmundu ennene. Nendaba ekitiibwa kya Katonda because he was able to save us. So those are two things which I wanted to talk about on that day. Khalid Yono, this is the boy. I've been with him for some time. And he's the one who worked hard. For him, kyali afuba nnyo okulaba nti omulimu gwe ogwa bodyguard agutuukiriza, omuntu gwe baamuwa okuuma amujja ku scene of crime as fast as possible. And he did it. Thank you, Khalid. You can go back. After I got out of the vehicle, I came back to check whether, that's why the Reverend was saying I was standing there with all my shirt drenched in blood. I was fighting to come back to see whether my daughter still had any piece of health inside her, whether she could breathe, but she was long gone. It was a very, very traumatizing moment. Mothers, fathers, think about that. Looking in the grave of your child, a child of this age, a child with a lot of life to come ahead. You can think, I think, imagine what's going on in our hearts. Let me do this. I want to thank the following people. I want to thank, first of all, I want to thank my driver, Ded Aziz. I've been with that boy for about 3-4 years. He did his best. Because he couldn't drive further, he made the vehicle come closer to a wall so that that's where I got out, and the guys who were shooting at us could not shoot at me. If he did it unknowingly or he did it knowingly, at least that I know saved my life. I want to thank, as I said, my escort, Khalid, for the good job you did. You ensured that the principal is protected, because that's what the bodyguard does. Ensure that the principal is protected. He did that. Yes, he might not have shot any of the terrorists, but at least he was able to keep them at bay. Because some of you remember the late Kawesi's incident, Ochigundu, that after shooting him the first time, they even came back and finished the job. So these were coming back to finish the job. That's when I told him, keep shooting. And then he whisked me away to a safe place and came back to guard the vehicle. I want to thank the boda man. When everybody was scared stiff, running away from me, including government vehicles, this boda man insisted. He said, Mukama wange nino kutwala, I have to take you. Now you can think, the people who are shooting us were on boda. This man is telling me to sit on a boda. I'm still in a confused state. Is he taking me to those people? Or he's taking me to a safe place? But the man insisted. He said, Mukama wange, tugende ku Malcolm of Nefa State. Now what happened is that all the bodas who were there, they surrounded and they said, Boba tokkiriza kutula ku boda tujja kwetika. So I sat on that boda with my escort, and they drove us to Malcolm. And I want to thank the Malcolm staff who were there for us, and they stabilized me before I was evacuated. Now let me say this. As you have heard, Brenda has gone at a very early age. Some of you are beyond 33. You remember what you are doing at 33. The miaka jachi, jabulamu, it's lifetime. But that's when these terrorists decided to end his life. She was to celebrate her birthday on 13th December this year. Omukulu Kanoni Lugolobi yatugatta n'omukyalo ono. Sebo bwatugatta era obufumbo tukyabulimu. Emyaka 3 tugenda mu 5 kati. And Brenda was our firstborn. Brenda, as you have heard, yali muntu ali kwegasiye mwana omulalu kalampenge mumaje tubaita bakalampe. The one who is sharp. She was there, cool, calm. And I think that's why even the family had made her to be the treasurer of their circle. The family must have their circle, so that made her a treasurer. They save every month, and she has been mobilizing them to have an investment, not to depend on our investment, if any. You may not say she was an A+ student, but she was a determined student. I sent those kids away to the US at a very early age. Majo, who's not here, this one went to India, and she was asking me, why did you send me to India? You didn't love me, is that why you sent me to India? But I wanted you to grow, and you did. So I sent them away at very early age, and they had to forge life. Bali no kola okuyimirirawo. So determinedly, she went to school with her sister, Majo, until she finished a master's degree in public health. Then because of papers in the US, it was difficult for her to get jobs worth her training and worth her qualification. Namugamba Brenda, why are you doing odd jobs? Come back home. Come back home, even if you are not going to earn a lot of money, as possibly what you are earning in the US, but you are going to have a respectable job. Come home. Of course, but eventually she yautuuliriza n'akoma, and that was 2019, as you have heard, when she came on her birthday. At my birthday, actually what these fellows did on that day, they knew that I love Brenda very much. They arranged erandos abachala muri bazibu naye ate muri bangu kubanga bategeka omukolo nga simanyi ku birthday yange nzukuka ku makyambo bagenda kumpa kirabo ntuuka mu ddiiro bampa kirabo ki Brenda ava waggulu akawansi. It was a very big surprise. That was the gift they gave me. And I think that's the day I laughed most in the family. That's the day I laughed. Even they keep talking about it. Because if Brenda was not where she was seated, all those bullets would have ended in my body. So she was my guardian angel. She gave in her life for me, unknowingly. She gave in her life for me. And maybe God said, your dad still has some work to do. But you being a good girl, come to heaven and we'll give you some more other work. Brenda, her clients were her priority. You have heard these people say. She loved her clients. She would come home, like daddy, omulwadde, eddagala yali sobya, but she has to get the medicine. So you had to find the money to help that